I've always had a sort of a creative urge, and I like building stuff and things like that, so yeah.
Adam Cooper's not someone who's afraid of a challenge.
I have retinitis pigmentosa, which is a genetic and degenerative eye disease. It means all the vision in the central part of my eye is lost, so I can get around the place, but detail is really problematic for me. As long as I take the time to set up everything right, it's going all right so far. I've still got on my fingers.
In 2019, the National Disability Insurance Agency brought Adam on to help make its IT systems accessible for staff with vision impairment. He knew it would be a big job.
I thought it was a fantastic opportunity as someone with a vision impairment and who's been working in the digital accessibility space for more than a decade. The software is called JAWS, or Job Access with Speech. It's one of the more common screen readers around.
Is this what the NDIA would be using typically, JAWS?
It is the only screen reader, as far as I understand, that they're using, yeah.
The problem was the JAWS screen reader that vision impaired staff used couldn't read lots of information about NDIS participants held on its database, so the staff couldn't do their jobs quickly or sometimes at all, and JAWS wasn't the only problem.
You'd have these ridiculous situations where the business processes that require blind people to print out a letter, sign it, and then put it in an envelope and send it to a participant. That's just nonsensical in my view.
A year into the job, Adam's efforts to get the problems fixed were going nowhere.
Then over time, it just became just much like any other government department with digital accessibility, that you would encounter the same kinds of roadblocks. You know, it's too expensive, or it's too hard, or, you know, it's not such a priority.
The NDIA describes itself as an employer of choice for Australians with disability and has a goal of making 15% of its staff made up of workers with disability. But for workers who couldn't see the information in participants' files, the job had to change, either by reducing their performance targets or other measures.
They are either moved to another position, or eventually they're just sort of pushed out of the organisation, you know, because at the end of the day they can't do the job.
What impact does that have on people, do you think?
I think it's soul destroying.
In July last year, Adam quit in frustration.
Treating the staff with disability as a lower priority in terms of being able to access systems as clearly discriminatory. Having a disability is hard enough. You don't need to have it rubbed in your face, if you like, and go to your dream job in the NDIA only to be told that you're just not worthy of it.
The NDIA's chief executive, Martin Hoffman, declined to do an interview to answer the concerns of staff, but in a statement the agency insisted that no staff are managed out for having a disability. It says it's a leader in assistive technology and the vast majority of its systems are compatible with JAWS, but that's not what multiple staff have told us. And the problems don't just affect doing the work, it extends to the training on how to do the work.
Honestly, I don't want sympathy. I just want understanding, so I can do my job. Hello.
Kerry-Ann Minjute has had a vision disability since childhood and jumped at the opportunity to work at the NDIA in Perth when it launched in 2014.
I'm so passionate about the scheme, and I really wanted to be there from the beginning to see it, watch it grow and develop, and the difference it could make to people's lives.
The NDIA made her a star employee, featuring her photograph in its 2015 annual report. She's now risking her job by speaking publicly about disability discrimination she claims started on her second day of work during a training session delivered by PowerPoint.
They couldn't see the screens. They have two big TVs on the wall, and a lot of the work is done on there. Within the second day of the training, I was down with one of the directors crying because I felt I wasn't included. I was the only one there with a vision impairment. I felt really singled, like an idiot. I felt stupid, and I'm not stupid.
This is to teach you how to do your job,
Yeah.
right? This is the training material.
And I can't even read this.
I can just read it. I can just make it out.
At her most recent training in November, she was given a printed workflow chart for her new job that she can't even read, held right up to her face.
Yeah, I don't see any of it.
Kerry-Ann says she met her performance targets at the NDIA for 8 years because she taught herself how to use its systems.
And I know my job and I've trained myself and everything is going smoothly, and then they move me to another team and they got to try again. We start all over again because they have no idea. We were all put in one team at one point, all the people with disability, like we were in the too hard basket. That's how I felt.
The agency wouldn't tell us why it made that decision. Eventually, Kerry-Ann took sick leave and lodged a workers' compensation claim alleging disability discrimination in her job.
It just makes me feel useless and worthless because no one understands. It's like I'm talking to a brick wall.
ABC Investigations has spoken to more than a dozen current and former NDIA staff who say they've faced disability discrimination in their jobs. At least 6 NDIA staff have sued the agency for alleged discrimination in the past 5 years. Their claims include not having the right software to do their jobs, photocopiers or even toilet paper out of reach of staff in wheelchairs, or there's no ramp at an emergency exit. In each case, the agency has quietly settled and got the worker to sign a gag order so they can't tell their stories publicly, something the agency says is commonplace in the public service.
The National Disability Insurance Agency has an appalling record when it comes to the treatment of people with a disability. And it's so disappointing because these are the employees who have lived experience of disability. So many people have come to the union talking about the fact that they are not getting the support that they need.
The union representing NDIA staff says that lack of support is compounded by a broader problem of unsustainable workloads on staff. Last year, it complained to the regulator Comcare about unsafe workloads causing psychological harm to staff. And in January, Comcare found the NDIA was contravening OH&S legislation. In its statement to 7:30, the NDIA says the final Comcare report cleared it of a formal breach. It insists disability discrimination is not a widespread problem at the agency, but it regrets what it calls a very small number of people who feel they've not had a positive experience. It says 19% of its employees have a disability, and it is a community leader in hiring and supporting staff with disability.
The scheme is fantastic and can be better, but the agency needs a lot of work. Who's delivering the scheme right now? Especially for the employees with disability. Yep, 100%.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.